Tour West, racing off again with a new amazing edition.
It's Lara here, back to broadcast the next U.S. Speed Tour on Motorflix. You must have liked the East Edition, so get ready to love the West Edition. You'll see just how different it is.
The U.S. Speed Tour West is all about record-breaking speed, fun homemade cars, and breathtaking landscapes. And still, 8 weeks, 8 stages, and 8 specials, where you'll be racing against time alongside proven contestants.
Yeah, right. Teams like Spearhawk, Hoodlum Racing Crew, Fire Air Filters, and American Petrol. Go fast. Beat the others. Come in first in each stage. Have fun setting the best records, and leave your mark.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hyperion-Blue-GT is here. It's time to get ready to start the live summit event in the Crew 2 Wild Escape. With the introduction video launch of the US Speed Tour West, as the second episode of Motorflix Season 3 will be having some new vehicles, we'll be continuing on to have a different time trial events will be taking place in the west regions of the United States of America. All events and skills take place in the areas of the Midwest and Mountain States, with certain of them taking place in the South Dakota area of Black Hills. For the start of the different area to be taking place in Monument Valley and Off-Road Racing Headquarters. As you may enjoy watching the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out some more videos if you like. Feel free to enjoy anytime you want for the entertainment. Now it's time to get ready to start the live summit event, and let's begin. It looks so brilliant to see that Volkswagen Beetle is now going in to be on the off-road to have a nice addition as a Hoodlum Racing Crew. For the bundle event in Wild Escape, 20% discount by under $500,000 to be available at the purchase. But somehow, I just purchased one vehicle to be preparations. We'll have to do some exterior parts on the livery editor. So first up is the Cadillac Escalade 2012 to have a performance in 409 horsepower and a top speed of 142 miles per hour. Next up, the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT 2012 and a performance of 470 horsepower and a top speed of 170 miles per hour. This one is very good, and also to be fitted as a street race discipline to have a nice SUV vehicle to be manufactured by Jeep. And last but not least, going off-road for the muscle car is the Pontiac GTO The Judge 1969 Rally Raid Edition. This one is very good to have a nice vehicle to be driving around onto the off-road areas to have some adjustable suspension. Will be giving a good height that we might have some good performance. We'll have to go faster. It looks very good, and also to have a default livery will be included as well. Here I go. 2 cars will be added in onto the collection to be received onto the Jeep collector. And also for the first time I just purchased a Pontiac GTO to be labeled as a rally raid discipline. Let's have a good look at the fresh new Motorpass in Season 3, Episode 2 of the US Speed Tour West. Starting out in tier number 1 will be required to be purchased with some premium Motorpass. If you really have enough crew credits to get all items will be unlocked. Like the Mazda MX-5 Miata and a Spearhawk edition that might give a good different look like the original. The pop-up headlights will be stay on open, and even the reinforced chassis will be putting up with some good parts, along with a bar light rooftop to be on top of it. Looks pretty cool and very awesome to have a nice Spearhawk livery to be driving around onto the rally raid events to be entered in. There's the Hoodlum Racing helmet to be on the Epic, and goes on for a rear area rooftop as a rooftop vanity item. Looks pretty cool and pretty small enough to have all kinds of vehicles will be putting up with some exterior parts for modifications. So I have to make sure that there will be having some more items will be labeled for free, just like the Spearhawk tire to be on the comment. It looks pretty nice and pretty awesome to have a nice off-road rally tire to be driving around onto the off-road areas in America. And even some fictional logos to be seen as well. Looks pretty cool. Not to mention that there might be some more underglows to be putting up with some good rare. And even some more currency credits like the crew credits that we might need it to be stacking up. And even the Dirt and Fame set to be on the first part to be at tier number 7. So I have to be able to go onwards that we might have some more items to be purchased to be unlocked. Giving a jump start that we might give a good easy ways for every players to be played in the crew too. Stopping at tier number 13 is the Lancia Delta S4 with the Hoodlum Racing Crew Edition. The different rims that will might give a good look as the aerial tire, and the rear ring spoiler that will might give a good different look, just like the original, and also to be as a special edition that will might give a good premium to be used on the Motorpass. But I kinda like it. I really hope that everybody could probably have to get this one along with some new batch of vehicles that will be quite giving a good ways to try it out. And there's a Spike Smoke on the rear, Hoodlum Racing outfit to be on the Epic. That one might give a good exact racing outfit to be giving a good classic to be driving around onto the west region of America. But this one over there is the Spike Underglow. It looks pretty cool on the rear, and that one might give a good different effect. And also for the US Speed Tour West tire, just like the East type, but it is going to be quite giving a good different color that will might give a good ways to spin around to have a burn tire. Looks pretty awesome. And there's the Fire Nitro. Oh man, looks like this is going to be quite super rare and pretty epic to be boosted up. That might be quite good to be added to your list. Stopping at tier number 19 is the American Petrol helmet will be available for free. Looks pretty cool and pretty good old vintage. And also there's some Motor Stars pack that we might give an extra boost that we might have to go forward whenever you're going to have to proceed over onto tier number 50. But this one is the Fire Aerial Tire that we might give a good exclusive use onto the Chevy Corvette C3 Stingray. But word on the street, the Fire Edition is now already available to be needed. But this one is very good to be used as a vanity item, will might give a good full completion. Underglow is good to be on the fire. Vintage truck, let's hear it. Okay, well, maybe this is going to be quite giving a good check to be putting up with some more horns. There's the West tire, different type of the US Speed Tour West. And this one is very different onto the front area rooftop. But I know this is going to get a little bit much longer, so I have to make sure to be stopping at tier number 33 is the Fire Edition of the Chevrolet Corvette C3 in the Touring Car Edition. Car number 69, and that means this looks pretty good on that Corvette to have a 3rd generation model. But I cannot believe it. This different wing spoiler turns out to become unique and different variation that we might putting up with some good racing modifications will be driving around onto the track. And even the US Speed Tour West will be participate to be on the road surface to be on the route. But I kind of like it. This looks pretty cool and excellent. So I have to make sure if I can probably have to skip onwards onto tier number 49, and there it is. The Yacine Design X American Petrol was manufactured by creators. A 2021 British Alpha Grand Prix discipline. It looks like a tractor or a Formula 1 race car. Better call it a tractor Formula 1 racer. Pretty classic and giving a good style to be labeled as a fictional racing vehicle. But no matter it was one of the creators' car brand that might give a good different look to have a nice style. But I kind of like it. Whoever made this car, it looks pretty awesome to see how it goes. And last for the final tier is going to be putting up to have an American Petrol outfit and a dynamic shockwave smoke. But I mean, look at this. I'm just gonna have to take a good look to have a nice 360 donut spin onto the Nissan GTR. But it might be possible to be giving a good shockwave boost whenever it comes in to be on the full straight. Wow, I cannot believe it. All these new items are so good to see this kinds of good ways to try it out. Alright, looks like this is going to be quite good to be stopping at rank 8,558 place in Lightfall. 2 items including a Nissan 370C C34 Drift Edition and a Nightfall Underglow is now going to be added to your collection. Number 9 on the Nissan Collector is going to be quite good to be on the hobby. So I have already starting out to take one event on the scales. We'll be putting up with some 4 different set of rewards. Right now, 200,000 followers will be giving a good increased cap on the fame pack. Same goes on to the spare part for only 52,500. One legendary part to be boosted for the rally raid discipline is going to be the gearbox. And also, the Volkswagen Beetle Hoodlum Racing Crew Edition is going to be quite very cool to have a different variation like the original. Here I come, folks. This one might give a green checkmark for go to be taking place in the escape on Black Hills. Luckily, if I could probably have to choose the best car, that one might quite giving a good way to go on over onto the asphalt. I've been trying to come up with a better solution. If I could probably have to do a better way that we might have to be climbing up onto the 100,000 points. So let's stop here and choose a different ride that we might give a good exact performance. We'll be going over onto the road. That makes a perfect advantage that we might have to work hard to drop away onto the red zone. Just gonna have to go over and choose a ride. Okay, looks like time for my Bugatti Depot is about to be ready to go. Natural Chemist, check and select. Here I go. I know this is going to be pretty challenging, folks. Mostly other players can also use hypercars whenever you like. So let's drive away and climb up onto the top. Okay, let's see how I can probably do this. Gets me a little bit nervous. That's the ticket. Now, gonna have to drive away. If I could probably have to go over onto the route. Pretty complicated, by the way. Using the hypercar could be doing the best option we'll be using as a last resort. Okay. I just beat Tuck's run in a range and looks like the red zone just hit me. Not a problem, folks. Looks like I'm just gonna have to putting up with some different experiment that we might come up with a method. Attempt number 1 is going to be giving a little bit halfway there towards the 100,000 points. Now for attempt number 2. It could probably manage to come up with a different route that we might have to stay much longer by the extended. So I have to go over again, so just going to have to drive away. We'll be going over onto the same route by having a different approach. Now just gonna have to kick it up the nitro. That should do the trick. 50% on the halfway mark. Gonna have to stay on track. I wonder how this might have to come in handy. Let's see. Okay, well, that one might give a quick shortcut to be on the highway. Oh boy, red zone's coming in. Ah, great. Looks like stopping at 3,474 yards. Now let's see the outcome results. Yes! 128,000 points has finally reached a new record. Very good, and first one complete. Now for the Solemn, going over to be on the powerboat to be in the same place to be in the Solemn. it's going to get a lot of set sailing to be on the rivers, so auto switch and going over to have a different powerboat to be giving a stopping point to be used as a hover grab. Now, let's see, this is going to be quite good to have a powerboat discipline will be needed to putting up. Quick check. Nitro cam is on to the vector. Okay, offshore Mark 1, do your best. This one might have to set sail onto the trail of the rivers. Just gonna have to keep a good concentration. Pass underneath the bridge. Hit the nitro and do the jump. Technique is all about having a good flow when you're riding on the river. Just like kayak, but also just gonna have to take a good use of the jet ski that might give a good different characteristic. And right on to the nick of time. Finish line is now achieved for only 15,260 points. Thumbs up complete and thank you score breaker. Racking up the points by having a good limit. Perfection Mundo. #1 skill to be achieved. Next up, it's going to be on a different location in St. Mary for an escape. Just like Rally Raid, but also to be different onto the waters. So let's see how I could probably have to figure out a sailing strategy to be flowing around onto the river. It's going to be much harder as it looks, so gonna have to do my best. Stay in the maintain formation without pushing up the throttle. Okay, looks like it looks pretty good. Just keep rushing down whenever the current is at. Almost there. Keep it up. Just gonna have to stay on over. If I could probably have to reach it up by 3,000. Perfection. Pass through onto the bridge and oh man. Looks like stopping at the rocks might be giving an obstacle course. That might be a hazard, folks. I should really might need to be very much careful when using a powerboat. And there you have it, 35 yards. Very good, but almost not good at least. Maybe let's just gonna have to choose a different powerboat instead. That one might give an extra boost. Use my Vector 340R, will be doing the best speed average that we might have to go climbing up. Make sure if I could probably have to go on the opposite. Just gonna have to retry because I might need it to be used as the reverse direction. Okay, just gonna have to do a little bit much water drift. Kick it up and use the nitro boost. This one is very good to be on the forward straight. Let's see how I could probably have to push my way onto the river by giving a current flow. Come on. Just gonna have to beat the forward trail. The red zone is gonna be keep going up significantly. Come on, just gonna have to climb up and beat Clarence record. Coming closer. Come on. I can probably do this, folks. Make way for having a pushing effort. Yes, I just finally beat Clarence records. But still, the red zone is keep coming closer towards me. Come on. Don't want to lose my perfect momentum. Okay, looks like stop at 62.74 yards. So let's see the outcome results. Halfway there, well, it was a lot of challenging push out there to be climbing up onto the upper rivers. 3 scales complete. Now it's time to go over to have 6 events. First up, taking place in Dakota Grassland Dirt Race for the monster truck. Hopefully, any monster truck vehicle will be eligible to participate. So I hope I could probably have to use the Ford F-150 Raptor again, just like I just did from last time in the full walkthrough. But it was a lot of fun. Giving a lot of good pushing limits, keep climbing up, beat the record. And it's going to be quite doing awesome out there. We'll be doing a good sprint race. Come to my driver and get yourself prepared because it's going to get much different onto the condition, viewers. Wild Escape is going to be on the most challenging times, comes with measures. It could be much possible we'll be doing much brilliant to see how progress can go. But rainy day is about to be going underway. Let's do this. Head start is on the way. Now, just gonna have to keep going faster. Looks like I'm gonna have to win this race. Lemon squeezy. Checkpoint clear. Now, just gonna have to coming right over onto the marsh. Keeping up the limits and doing the ramp jump. Flip here, proceed on to the next checkpoint, folks. Better make sure work hard as fast as you can. Alright, now just gonna have to keep slowing down whenever you're coming in onto the forest. Safe clear. Oof. Okay, still got a chance. Takes a little bit more standby time to be used for having a nitro whenever I'm about to be ready. And here comes the buffalo. Pass by over to be coming over onto the next route. Oh yeah. Bummer. Checkpoint missed. Better have to do this more often. So, I guess this is going to be quite doing some best moments out there after Lightfall without having a full commentary. But I'm just going to have to make sure that it will be labeled as a no commentary feature, but only for less, at the beginning towards the end. But I know, it was a lot of difficult busy timing out there because of the major stress work I was having. Just for me and some video editing. Pass by the deer. Now continue on to the main route. Take a nice good clear handling and take another jump. No flip this time. Ah, come on. Checkpoint miss. This might get a little bit embarrassing. That might give a poor sloppy effort whenever you're gonna have to try to make a good perfection race in the monster truck. But with all due respect, practice makes perfect. Now coming back in onto the Black Hills in a different area. It's gonna get a little bit rough out there. Coming over onto the right. Staying on to the left corner, and here comes the finish line. Alright, looks like first place and legendary bundle earned. Regular on the podium complete. Well, almost at least, so Devil might have to go again. That should probably might have some 7 legendary loot parts will be needed.
3.
Okay, For attempt number 2, it has to do it perfection without having a fail. Just gonna have to go much harder as fast as I can to be used in the monster truck, folks. Sometimes having a little bit rough on the edges may be quite giving a little bit too extreme. So I have to stay focused on the route and I have to ace this. Okay, looks like keeping a good, stable response. Proceed over onto the next checkpoint to be coming right back in to hit the waters. That was a pretty close call. Now, take a flip. Excellent. Now, just gonna have to pass through onto the trees as the main obstacle. Go for the hard drift and putting up some smokes. Slow and steady and proceed on to the next checkpoint by the route. Same goes to be passed by onto the buffaloes to be roaming around. Perfect touchdown. Awesome. Way to keep things up by doing some extreme stunt jump. Wings of an angel. Keep it up. Looks like pass through onto the halfway mark. Moving on to the next corner. Strategy is going to be quite come in handy to be putting up with the Nitro Chemist, folks. Ace that course and go faster to be reached up onto the high limits. Now we're almost there at 75% on the progression. Keep a good calm landing spot. Going over for only 20% to go. Early shortcut to be at the left turn. Oh boy, gonna have to pass through onto the cows. Close call. Now, almost there towards the finish line, viewers. I could probably make it. I could probably make it towards the 100,000 points to be racking up. Okay, stable and procedure. Final stretch. And there you go. By over 2 minutes and 50 seconds by having 1 second in the decimal of 19. Here comes for the outcome summary, and there you have it. Putting up with some exterior parts to be received as a bonus. Like it. Alright, looks like Monster Truck is going wild out there for having a nice run. So, looks like it's going to have to go over to take on for the next event. Using the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8, will be going over to be in the Black Hills West. I hope I could probably have some putting up with some installed parts will be switched over to do some organized before putting up a new clip. SUVs are very cool to be used as a nice, fine gentleman's car. As for right now, the update performance that we might give a good use on the 904 horsepower and the top speed of 228 miles per hour. So I'll be choosing this car and having a good different color that we might have a good starting grid to be in last. Okay folks, let this be the American race for the SUV, pickup trucks, and utilities will be going faster on the way.
Listen to the engine. It's saying, let's win.
First place on the head start for the Nitro. This one is a very good mobility SUV that could probably have to take on the Jeep Wrangler. In about a few more distance to go on the gap, I hope I could probably have to keep an eye out whenever I have to go faster by the pace. Staying on over to be on this main route, we'll be on the way. So, by the look of the interior view, this looks very much modern style as a 2012 vehicle. Pretty good to have a nice performance to be designed with a good share type of an SRT, means sports racing technology for this SUV. Very good, nice average performance that we might have to drive on over onto the roads. Perfectly used as a street race discipline that we might have to be driving around onto the road. But even to be exactly the most, it is also to be used this same car as a rally race discipline. That we might give an excellent racing vehicle that we might be fitted to be driving around onto the off-road. But the same performance that we might give the same chassis that we might give a good exact performance by the spec. Gonna have to go climbing up, keeping up onto the main pace that we might have to keep going forward. 8 seconds behind. Now the downhill will be on the way. Slow down and keep up the pressure. Here comes the right turn. Gonna have to slow for it. And rev up again. Halfway there on 50%. Now just gonna have to slow down and take the next right before going in onto the avenue. So we're at Badlands in the Midwest. Going hill climb. This sound of the engine looks pretty revved up to be similar like a muscle car. That's the ticket. Stay on 10 seconds at the exact range. Looks pretty awesome, by the way, folks. But I can't wait to use this vehicle to be fitted as a UDRS livery. But probably no final shapes or even decals. But even the exception of the logo could be needed as well. This might be giving a good use as a fine professional vehicle to be fitted as a nice opportunity. We're almost there, folks. The final stretch is on the way. And here it is. Let's take that Jeep Grand Cherokee home onto the podium. Now that's SUV racing. Driving wild on the road and almost good enough to have that record progress that we might be fitted up to be climbing up as well. It was a pretty good clean race. But it was a lot of good fun out there to be driving with this SUV. Looks so good and average. Next SUV event for the Wild Escape. Using the Cadillac Escalade will be taking on in the Black Hills Special. Reward will be having 200,000 followers, just like the same exact requirements until at the end of the event. So first up, taking the starting grid to be in Black Hills. So I hope this is going to be quite doing brilliant out there to have all kinds of parts to be installed. Better take a good guess onto the Cadillac Escalade to be ready to use. 1,218 horsepower and 228 miles per hour at performance level in 280. Looks pretty good, and it is all set and raring to go for this nice good blue Escalade. But I hope I could probably have to put up with some exterior parts to be needed. That will make it much cooler to be much awesome as it looked like. Pretty average, so I'll have to make sure to do my best.
Welcome all. Ready to watch special number 1 of the U.S. Speed Tour West? South Dakota's Black Hills are home to Mount Rushmore. Will they be home to drivers rushing off-road?
This is going to be pretty awesome out there to be driving around onto the Black Hills of South Dakota. We'll be explored to be having a good sightseeing landmark to be looked around in Mount Rushmore. Slow and steady and keep putting up the throttle. Alright, looks like this is going to be quite going on the track. Just going to have to take a good, excellent opportunity. We'll beat the time. So, looks like this is where it all begins, folks. Starting out in the special in the US Speed Tour West. Just like US Speed Tour East is going to be taking place in New York. But now in South Dakota, the sprint race is going to be on a long journey for only 8 weeks. So let's do our best and take a lot of good running effort out there to see who will have to go faster to beat the time. Gonna have to go harder. Every corner comes in by having a tough terrain to do the obstacle. There you go. Keep up the pace. Now gonna have to slow down. Leaving Silver Hills and go straight over onto the Midwest area to be in Black Hills. Now entering Dakota grasslands. This Escalade could probably have a good charm effort out there to have a nice extended nitro boost. Putting up with an excellent handling, but a stable balance that might give a good mobility. Slow it down and keep revving up again. Kick it up onto the 5th gear and slide it down to back onto the 4th gear. Only 79% on the progression, only 20 more to go by passing 80%. I hope I can probably make it in time. There you go, close call.
There they go, past the last checkpoint. The finish line is right ahead to win the stage.
Alright, looks like that was a pure driving time attack event for the first event. This is where all starting out to have a nice outcome. And there you go, 100,000 points, just the way I want it. Excellent. Now that's a pretty good time trial to be on the sprint run. Awesome run and awesome car for the Cadillac Escalade. Now let's see, this is going to be quite good to have a good starting position to be explored around in Dakota after participate in the special. So right now, let's see, this is going to be quite good to have a next event. We'll be taking a good eligibility to be recommended. But I bet I could probably have to use the Volkswagen Beetle Hoodlum Racing Crew Edition to be used as a loan. Next up, Midwest Golden Trail is on the way. Just gonna have to make sure, you guys, after this event is over, you could probably have to get this one whenever you're gonna have to climb up onto the Platinum rank. So this different variant of the Volkswagen Beetle Hoodlum Racing Crew Edition that might comes in to have some different modification, and also the rooftop as well that might have some good special taste that we might putting up with some more items to be carried around. This one is very good to be in the rally raid disciplines and goes on over to be part of the Hoodlum Racing Crew to be as a special team of itself.
3.
This car is going to be in the most best challenge out there to be riding around onto the Midwest. Let's get it on to beat the time.
You totally got this.
Number 43 is taking a head start. So let's see how faster can it go to have that nice average performance. But take a good look onto the spare tire on top of this vehicle. This might give an extra as well whenever you're going to have to use it for having a road trip journey. Just going to have to pass by over onto this area. Kick it up with a nitro boost and proceed over onto the next checkpoint. There you go. Just gonna have the while to be going over to be having a nice run. Passing in onto the Ohio roadside. Keeping a good stable check. Try not to hit the tree. Pass through onto the checkpoint. Now coming in onto the windmill power plant. This one is very good and old. Now entering Mudder Road 66. Just gonna have to proceed over onto the next area by the checkpoints. But I can't wait to get this one because this one is a very good exclusive edition. Just like the original Rally Raid Discipline of the Volkswagen Beetle. That one might give a good special type of special edition that one might have some good liveries to be used as variants. But however, by the way, any other classic Volkswagen cars like this Beetle, that one might give a good, unique ways to have some different customization. So we're about to be coming in to pass on over to the next area. Take that jump and pass right on over to the drive-in theater. After passing through onto the halfway mark, 70% on the progression is on the way. This car looks pretty good to be dodging through onto the trees. Gonna have to take this side. Now coming in onto this compound, onto this area of the building. Oh man, that was a pretty close call. But I thought this might have a one good perfect jump. We're almost there towards 90%, and here comes the finish line after passing one more checkpoint, and there it is. Onto the right side area that will might give a good final destination. So let's bring that Beetle home over to the finish line. It's only me and the Volkswagen and the Wild. Daily complete onto the Motorstar Pass to be having a complete check. But it was a-okay. But this car looks very good to be having a nice good performance to be driving around onto the open areas to be doing some off-road events. This one goes in for the checkmark complete. Now moving on to the next event. So probably it's going to get much challenging out there to do a mixed event for the Rallycross. So that means the Pontiac GTO The Judge will be scheduled later on, so moving on to start out in Stage 1 of the US Speed Tour West will be taking place from Black Hills to Yellowstone. $45,000 to be used as a reward, and I am willing to participate to be going over to be having a nice different Rallycross discipline to be entered in. Just like the US Speed Tour East in Stage number 1 in New York City. But definitely, different locations is going to be on a long road trip. So this time, I'll be using the Globe Motorsport edition of the Ford Focus RS Rallycross is now coming in to be at the ready. Putting up the maximum performance at 230 that will might do the same thing like the original. So let's choose this car and get ready to go on over to take on to hit the dirt. It's going to be so awesome out there. We'll be starting out in Stage 1. Here I come and let's do this.
Welcome to the start of US Speed Tour West, Stage number 1. From South Dakota's Black Hills to Wyoming's Yellowstone Park.
Okay, it looks like Stage number 1 is going to be starting out from South Dakota to Wyoming. Pretty good excellent, and taking a lot of good course onto the route. So the handling is doing much different like the original, but it has a good wide wing spoiler onto the rear that will might give a good exact fit as a time attack. But somehow, the handling is going to be pretty complicated, so if we could probably have to try to master this car, that we might have to go embrace it. So, checkpoint is going clear. Now for the uphill, we'll be doing the next course. I'm so glad I just finally got this car by reaching up at tier number 49. I know how hard it is by doing some challenges that we might have to be participate to do some more important tasks. It is quite doing brilliant to do some more extra boosts that we might do some more progress. Just gonna have to keep a little bit more careful. Still got it in one piece, but the handling on this car still do some more basic on the road. Okay, hold it steady. Now coming in onto the next route after passing through by taking a shortcut. No matter how this course might be quite giving a good exact tour to be used in rallycross discipline to do the first stage. But I wonder what's going to have to be in stage number 2. I hope it's going to be having another different discipline to be used in the rally raid. But we'll make sure if we could probably have to find out soon in next week, because I still got a lot of more upcoming content videos from the past will be featured to be needed. That's how my YouTube channel really might have to come up with a good different general plan that will be putting up with some uploads in the past, the present, and also the future. That's how my kind of an interest for my YouTube channel that will might have to be come up with a better way. But I'm still working hard to get over to 1,000 subscribers, because I'm just gonna have to work hard as much as I can, because I just barely got caught up in a traffic jam by doing some more video editing. Halfway there, folks. We're almost there by 60% on the progression, but still takes a little bit more basic out there to have that Globe Motorsport edition. Kick it up for the nitro boost. Okay, looks like, where am I now? Alright, looks like I'm at Yellowstone, and this is going to be the home of the famous geyser. Is now exploring around to take a good look. But probably, this one is going to be doing the next course of this area that we might have to be going back from the dirt surface into the tarmac. Doing some ace course on the drift, and here comes the technique chicane. Gonna have to pass through. Just like US Speed Tour East in stage number 1. But better make sure, just gonna have to make a good clear perfection without fail by having a contact. Alright, now gonna have to move on over to the next street. Going over by the next route. We're still in Yellowstone, folks. Come on, just gonna have to keep up the pace. Work hard and faster and use the nitro while you can. There's the geyser. Looks like this one might have a good place to sightsee to pass by.
The race is about to reach Yellowstone Park, the home of the famous geyser, Old Faithful. Who will be the fastest?
Okay, looks like I finally made it on time. 4 minutes and 50.799 seconds. Right on destination for having a good place to take a good look in Yellowstone Park. We'll be going over to have a nice Old Faithful to be having a good place to look. But I know how people really want to see Old Faithful because it is so unique to see this kind of a good geyser. But I know how history repeats itself, that we might give a good place to be giving some good eruption to be sprouting around with water. But I hope you guys really might have to plan yourself for next vacation to be going over onto Yellowstone National Park to see Old Faithful. But right now, for only one more event, we'll be going in to be in the Ski Jump Valley by using the Pontiac GTO to judge. That's right, folks. The muscle car is about to be going in to take part in a rallycross event. Let's see how this muscle car rally raid could probably have to take on with some rallycross vehicles. Because this one is going to be giving a new ways by having an old school. We'll be going over to have a maximum limit. Will be revealed to be in a horsepower and 739 in the top speed of 150 miles per hour. Let's use this muscle car and get ready to go for having a nice run out there. Just gonna have to make sure this one is very extreme to be having an interesting wall-make race. But maybe not. This one might have a 2-on-2.
Faster! Seriously, go faster!
Alright, I'll be the first one to go right in. Now this handling looks very much different as a street race discipline, but goes on extreme over to be on the off-road areas and even the dirt trails. But thank goodness I just barely passed one GTO and two Volkswagen Beetle is now coming in by the overtake. Gonna have to do some drifting. That one might give a possible interesting chance that we might have to go over by the terrain. Come on, just gonna have to keep pushing up. Lap number 1 is going to an end, and here comes lap number 2. So I wonder how something missing about it. I didn't do stage 3 of the US Speed Tour East in the full walkthrough. But yeah, it is very challenging for having some more delays because it still takes a lot of stressful ways to go for having a lot of more important things to do. But one simple question to have. I have a job to do and putting up some more video editing that we might have to be added later on as a reminder. Gonna have to keep pushing harder, and here comes the final lap. Yeah, keep it up with that nice drift. Doing some off-road drifting? Well, it is also to be on the tarmac onto the streets. That's how average drift works. Keep it up. Almost there to be climbing up onto the platinum if I could get a chance. Final stretch, down I go and make my way to the finish line. Success and 2 minutes and 17.572 seconds to be achieved. Oh yeah, this muscle car is pretty awesome onto the most finest surface onto the track. Very awesome and doing an average job well done for this GTO. Pretty awesome and pretty rev up onto the limits. Feels good to be wild and drive anywhere to be achieved by any events to be participates. But I cannot believe it, I just finally made it onto the platinum in the nick of time. So I'm at 10,981st place to be in Wild Escape. And this is going to be quite doing brilliant out there to do some more follow-up catch-up to be needed as well. One event down, and next up is going over to be in Yellowstone. Looks like it's going to be pretty lost, and that means for only one vanity item to be on the low poly color to be on the brown. Plus also to be in the demolition derby discipline to have 7 sets of the nitro chemist that might give a good requirement for any kinds of demolition vehicles to be needed to putting up with some short amount of extended boost. But yeah, some of my demolition derby vehicles might need some more nitro chemists. Hopefully, I could probably have to do some more livery designs in the later future because so much things to do for having my YouTube channel. Will have to work hard as much as I can. But as a reminder folks, this video segment should be later uploaded in a matter of time. We'll be having a good interesting fact. We'll be coming right back in to be starting out in week number 1 of the US Speed Tour West. Just you wait folks. Uploading some content videos to my channel will be featured in the past, present, and the later future. Thank you for tuning in on my video folks. I hope you enjoyed. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, bell for notification uploads to be turned on, and the links on the description down below if you really want to see more. You can check it out on Instagram, DeviantArt, GT Planet, and other social media platforms if you really want to follow me. And don't forget to support my main project, Vision Total Drama, the next chapter of the Total Drama fan art to support the community. I'll be seeing you guys next time in the live summit event in the Crew 2, and I will see you later in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.